Oh, fudge. Oh, would you believe what just happened?
Paul, we can do a how to use a net section. We've got a few different ideas what we're going to run today, from float lining to jigs to soft plastics, and of course lots of burley. So that's the idea: get in shallow, get the fish to come to you. Now we've done a bit of a sound around. We found that there's a lot of fish just scattered in little patches all through this area. So it's not the idea to actually sit down for 10 minutes, drop your bait down, expect to catch. No, when you're burling, you've got to have patience, and it could take up to an hour to bring those fish back to you. But at the end of the day, the reward is well worth it. So guys, out here when we're fishing for our snapper or any bottom species that's going to be in this particular zone, I'm going to be using the Burley Bomb. Now this is a burley cage here, goes up. Of course I can just put all the details of old fish and cuts and scraps or fish frames or anything like that, or B, you can run these tuna logs that they have at Anaconda as well. So I'm just going to cut this open, cut it up, put it in that, and then I'm going to tie it off the back of the boat, and that just clips up like so. And the weight, you can either drop it to the bottom, or in this case here, I'm just going to stick it about 3 feet down. If there's a lot of sharks in the area, you can pretty much say goodbye to it, particularly if there's whites around, or even makos will come in and have a bit of a sniff on it. So we're just going to get this all sorted, drop it down to the deck, or at least a few feet under, and fingers crossed get the fish to come up closer to us. All right, so we've just basically chopped up our tuna log, put it into the actual cage, and right now, over the side, pretty simple. Down about 5 or 6 feet, I'll tie this off the side of the boat, keep our rubbish here of course, and that'll just disperse and bring the fish closer to where our baits are. Got this little jig going off here. It's a little gulp. It's about a 7-inch with a wiggle tail. We just cast it out and just letting it drift down into that burley trail. Just really light, but I've got a 7.0 hook on it, really lightweight jig head. I can feel them just great. They're not really smacking it, you know what I mean? That's what I want them to do, is just annihilate it. Generally, if the fish are really turned on, they'll just smack it on the drop. You just watch your line just peel off as you're fishing with another line. That's my plastic there. A couple of little nibbles just coming off the back end of it. What I'm running is this one here. It's a Nemesis White Glow. I've used a lot of these on barramundi in the smaller, around the 4-inch and 5-inch. Absolutely brilliant, particularly in blue colour, but I thought I'd try today this White Glow. What we're going to do here is cast this out. Upstream, nearly hook a bird, done that before. But this particular rod here, this is the grappler. Okay, it's about a 50-pound stick. And I'm also running on this here, it's the, it's a Stratic, it's a 6000. I've got about 30-pound braid on that. I'm running down to 30-pound leader. So I just, fingers crossed, this nice little stick there, if you hook onto something decent, even like a snapper that could be upwards of around 20 or 30 or sort of, pound, you get them out here around that 15 kilo mark. You get them up to that size there, this sort of stick here will stop them. But also at the same time, if you get those smaller ones, still puts up a bit of a fight. So I've got a couple of baits I'm running here. If you have a look at my pillies, I've got a smaller one came out of the same pack, IQF from Tweed Bait. I've got the middle size here, and then we're going up to a big one. So you do get a variety of pilchards. Now my hooks I'm running here, I'm going to be about a 5.0 gang of 3. And I've got a really small little split shot there, just a tiny bit of weight, size 2. And I reckon that might be just enough weight to slowly drift our pilchard down to the depth. We're in about 25 metres of water, and I'm going to choose the middle size bait here, okay? So I think that middle size pilly, I'll just push him into that. We've lined him up. We want that last hook to go into his eye, like that. And that's perfect. So we'll just cast that again upstream, drift it down, and hopefully something sitting in that burley trail we'll smash it. How you going, Timmy?
It's going to go around the boat here, mate. Let's run around this way.
Okay, there you go. Come on under.
Let's do the dance.
Yep, the dance of
That one.
the dance done by many. Would you like me to use the net?
We might need the net.
It's not a bad fish there, by the way, pal.
Mate, it's a beautiful fish. Unweighted pilly, 2 hook rig, no weight, just floating off into the yonder.
See, I opted for a small split shot just to give it that little bit of extra sink, but maybe, you know, and look, it has worked previously. We've seen it before with other anglers.
Because we've got a few blokes on the boat here today,
Yeah.
it is actually quite nice to have a couple of guys with a bit deeper set baits.
Yes.
And ones like this, which are just unweighted and just floating down by itself.
Yeah.
And it's really nice. Then you sort of, you know, you're fishing all the water column. As your burley's cruising out, you're fishing both high and low. And this is probably halfway down, maybe 10 metres off the bottom.
Yeah, nice.
But
I
yeah,
can
nice.
see him on the sounder there, mate. He's sitting at, he's actually at, he's 7 metres down, so we should have a bit of colour soon because the water is quite green. There's been a lot of freshwater run-outs throughout this year, and of course the water really hasn't sort of started to clear up yet along that northern New South Wales line yet.
He's starting to wake up a bit now. I thought he was smaller, and then now he's feeling bigger. It's going to come up to a very nice little snapper here.
I'm definitely okay to netting. I feel confident. I don't want you to net anything, mate. I'm really good at getting hooks back. Not necessarily always the fish.
Here he comes, Paul. Got a bit of colour here.
Oh my God.
There we go. And this is why you head south. 2-hour run down south to Evans Head. We're about 3 or 4 kilometres off the coast. Hang on, I'll stand back up again. You get quality fish like this.
Mate, your rig is a little bit different to what we normally would run. You've got a small swivel going to your first hook, going to a split ring, and then an offshoot of another piece of leader going down to a second hook.
Often I find, because of the bend in a pilchard, they tend to spin a bit and you'll get some tangles.
Yes.
So when I put the swivel right in front,
Yep.
you know, it just floats down, very natural, and you'll never ever get a tangle.
Very similar to the weight of a split shot. So, you know, you can run differently, but that's a different rig that I haven't used on the show before. But well done to you, mate. A nice snapper.
Perfect. Great start to the day, and let's see if we can get another one for lunch.
Absolutely. Bring it on, buddy. On my plastic. Oh. Yeah. Yep. Oh. No, thank you, mate. There we go. Absolutely smack that jig. And the beauty of today is because we've got so much swell and a bit of movement about, is the jig's just moving itself. It's going up and down, and that wiggle tail on that 7-inch Nemesis, it's just doing its own bit of work. Leave it in the rod holder and bang, when a fish comes past, it's really hard to resist. Nice knobby, look at that. Thanks, Shano.
That's how you do it.
Thanks, buddy. Have a look at that. Not as big as some of them. Come here, mate. There you go. But absolutely crack that Nemesis right here. I'll take it out of his mouth. That big wibble tail. It's just doing its thing. As that swell goes around, he's just going up and down, up and down. So we've got about 2 metres of sea today, and that's enough to take that lure up and down into the ditch. And of course, then his snapper going past, he's just going to nail it. Absolutely sensational. Nice little knobby. So this is another one of just an old burley trick that we used to do out on the reef, and still do out on the reef, is if you are fishing for, say, trickies or red throat amp or anything like that in amongst the actual reef and those structures, is just get a handful. We're only fishing in 20, 25 metres of water, so just throw out a few handfuls here and there. Birds can't really smash it, so your burley's going to get down to the deck. Again, it's burley, burley, burley. You keep burling, the fish will come to you. So guys, if you're using your soft plastics and maybe you've caught a fish or you're not getting too much of a bite, have a bit of a sniff, of course, if it's just smelling not like much. Take it off. Try not to rip it off, but just take it carefully off the hooks there. And the idea here now is just to take them out of the pack, put it back into the juice. You seal the juice in here, and that's just going to give it another replenishment of being coated in that stench. And that's pretty much what it is. It absolutely is putrid. However, the fish love it. So we're just going to do that. And when you do hook up, the idea here, our jig head here is quite light. So this one here is a 1/4 ounce, but we're running a 7/0. And of course, we also have our nice heavy TT hook here. So in it goes. Now we want that to be even. You don't want it coming out of the side. Straight through this top like so. Push it down over that. And that's it there. Absolutely beautiful. So that tail absolutely pongs, but it's just going to go up and down. And fingers crossed we get onto a fish. And all I do here now is cast upstream. Why cast downstream? Because if we cast downstream, basically your line's just going to stay on the surface. We want our jig to slowly go down to the depth in amongst all that burley column, and fingers crossed we got onto a fish. So just lay it out there, keep the bail arm open, into the rod holder and pick up the other rod, and fingers crossed we get a fish. Hang on.
Oh, she's only lip. It's only lip.
Oh, hang on, I'll just grab this. Bring it in, mate. What a knobby. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh, fudge. Oh, would you believe what just happened? Look what I caught. I caught a set of gang hooks. I caught some gang hooks. What the?
Paul, we can do a how to use a next section.
Look, I caught your hooks, mate. Look, that fish, in all honesty, mate, it really wasn't, it wasn't that big.
It was a beautiful fish.
It wasn't that big.
And it deserved to be released.
Okay, oh, it's in the kelp. I can feel him in the kelp, but we're gonna try and get him out. Oh no, come on, baby. Oh, no. Yes, sir, we got it out. We got it out. Just kill it, mate. There we go. That's it. So again, that plastic, just dropping it down. Absolutely donged it. And you get these glassed out days, you know, where the fish just, middle of the day, been a big fan. I'll tell you what, Timmy Two-Step behind us, he's a big fan of those midday bites as well. You know, and there's no reason why, in the middle of the day, you still can't catch quality fish such as this. Beautiful snapper. Again, have a look at that placky right down on the front of his mouth. And that's just gonna hold it well. And then, of course, he's well hooked too. So we'll just get a shot of him in the drink there. And you can see by no movement on my end at all. No, just enough swell, enough movement there to bring these snapper back onto the chew and straight into our net. Again, white nemesis. Another placky, if you haven't got them with you, is grab yourself some squidgies, and they too do very well. But that just shows you a catching snapper in the middle of the day. You've had that tide change in the morning come through. We'll take this one home here, so I put my finger through his gills. But just catching fish quality like that, it's easily done, providing you're getting out there and you're working the tide change. Work that angler's almanac, okay? Work out the moon set, middle of the day, anything like that, and you get the right tides, you're gonna catch yourself some quality fish.